Okay, good evening, everyone. So as discussed in the last class, we completed the EC2, EBS and IAM topics, right? So if you have any questions on these topics, like today we will take up those questions, including like if you face any issues while you're doing the practicals, like you can come up with those issues also. So we can check those things today. Okay. So if you have any questions on any of these topics, you can ask me now. So you don't have any questions? Hmm? Hmm. A tag name. ఇది ట్యాగ్ ఏంటిది? నేమ్. Incomplete tag. This is key. This is value. ఇక్కడ ఓన్లీ నేమ్ కీ డిస్ప్లే చేస్తుంది. వాల్యూమ్స్ ఒకటే. ఇది ఒక్కటి రావట్లేదు మీకు, అంతే కదా? మీరు ఎలా ఇచ్చారు వాల్యూ? ట్యాగ్ ఏమి ఇచ్చారు మీరు? ఎలా ఇచ్చారు? ట్యాగ్ ఈస్ ద కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ కీ అండ్ వాల్యూ. చూపించండి నాకు ఎలా ఇస్తున్నారు. ఇది 1 GB పెట్టండి, 100 GB ఎందుకు? ఇక ట్యాగ్ ఏమి ఇస్తుంది? ఏదైనా సంథింగ్ ఏదైనా సరే, ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి ఇక్కడ? ఒక నిమిషం. ఒకటి ట్యాగ్ ఈజ్ ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్, రైట్? Tag is identification. For every value, there will be a key, right? Name is key. And some like, let us say there is a name like Rajesh. If I say Rajesh, what is the meaning of that? రాజేష్ అనేది అంటే అది మనిషి పేరా ఇంకోట తెలియదు కదా. సో నేమ్ కీ అనేది నేమ్. ఒక వాల్యూ ఇస్తే అదేంటనేది తెలియదు కదా. సో వాల్యూ దేనిది? నేమ్ ఈజ్ వాల్యూ. నేమ్ ఈజ్ 1 GB. మీరు ఇన్కంప్లీట్ ట్యాగ్. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి క్యాన్సిల్ చేయండి. క్యాన్సిల్. సపోజ్ మీరు 50 ట్యాగ్స్ ఇచ్చారు. ఈ ట్యాగ్స్ కనిపిస్తాయా? ఏం కనిపిస్తుంది? నేమ్ ఒక్కటే కనిపిస్తుంది. ట్యాగ్ అనేది నేమ్ కి ఏదైనా ఒక ట్యాగ్ ఇస్తే ట్యాగ్ అనేది కీ వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది. నేమ్ అనేది కీ, దాని వాల్యూ. ట్యాగ్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ట్యాగ్ ఈజ్ నేమ్, వాల్యూ ఈజ్ సమ్, అది మాత్రమే తెలుసుకోవాలి. అర్థమైందా? మీరు చేసి సో మీరు ఏం చేశారు? కీ ఇచ్చారు, దానికి వాల్యూ ఇవ్వలేదు. ఇంకా 2 చోట్ల కీ అని వాల్యూ ఇచ్చినా ఇక్కడ డిస్ప్లే అయ్యేది ఓన్లీ నేమ్ ఒక్కటే డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది డిఫాల్ట్. సో అక్కడ మీరు ట్యాగ్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు కాంబినేషన్.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, actually, I have some issue in Linux EC2 instance. I launched the instance, but you showed that practical web server. So I installed all services, but I'm not able to launch this website. That is web server you launched, now.
Okay, so you created Linux instance and you install all the services, but the website is not accessing, right?
Yes, not accessible.
Okay, what is the error you're getting? Like page not found error or
page not coming, means while
Okay.
browsing with IP, it's not coming in.
Is it running now?
Instance not running. I deleted.
Okay, you deleted. So what is the security group you have used it?
Now that SSH.
Okay. What else ports you have opened?
SSH 22 and the turn port whatever you showed me in document.
Okay,
Same
so
I can HTTP that services web service.
No. The service you installed in the Linux, right?
Yes.
So in the security, whenever have you checked the service is running?
Yes, sir. Service is running.
Service space HTTPD space status. Is it showing
Yes, sir.
running? Okay.
Running, sir.
Then the 90% the problem will be with the security group. You have to make sure that the 80 port is open in the security group.
Okay.
It's okay. This one.
Yeah, 80 and 443 both are running.
Okay, just try it again one more time. And just if it is not accessible, give me the screenshot of the security group.
Okay.
I mean, like if you go to the EC2 instance and if you go to the security, you can see the name of the security group, right?
Right.
Send me the screenshot of the security group and then open the security group and show me the inbound rules, what ports we have open.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also just send me the screenshot of like the command output service space HTTPD space status.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
So that must be running condition and the security group must be opened with at least 80 port.
Okay. And is it required to enable elastic IP?
Not required. Not required. Not required because if you don't reboot your EC2 instance, the IP will not change, right?
Will not change, right.
So if you reboot the machine, then IP address will change, and the EC2 instance will be accessible using the new IP. Even the website also accessible with new IP. The
Yeah.
old IP won't work.
Okay. So one more question.
Mhm.
I want to attend this certification.
Mhm.
So is it required to attempt first this practitioner, or
Not
directly
required.
I can
Directly,
attend this
directly you can go for any certification. You can go
any
for any.
certificate?
Yeah.
So not required directly. I can attend this solution architect, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. I will do the practical and I'll send you steps, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So everyone is able to do the practicals without any issues. Like you didn't got any issues. Okay. So while you are using the user data, like to install the website or to install the web server and host a website, anybody got any issues like the website is not up and running or some kind of issues? Yes. What happened? Like how have you resolved it or still you got some issue? Okay. So how to resolve such kind of issues? Let us say you try to install the web page. You would like to host a web page using the user data. And once it is done, like you copied the user data and everything, but finally you got some issue, like the web page is not up and running. So you understand that something went wrong and it is not working. So how can we troubleshoot that? Like how to identify where exactly it got missed or it got failed? Let us say if there is something problem, like some issue with the command, whatever you are using in the user data. So here, let us say at this place, you use it to some kind of typing mistake or something. What will happen there is it will stuck at this particular point of time. It will not continue with the remaining things. So how to identify where exactly it got stuck is log into the Linux instance, like whatever you created. Just check whether the HTTPD service is installed or not. Or if there is some issue with this, then definitely the service will not start, right? use the command like service httpd space status. Then if it is showing not running, that means there is some problem with this particular command. Like whatever the command you have used in the user data, there is something wrong at this particular command. Instead of not running, if it shows like unknown service or something, then there is no such service available in the machine. That means something wrong with this particular command. Or once you're done with that, how to check the user data? Like you can go to the instance settings. There you can see the edit user data option. That's where you can see the user data, right? Just compare the commands here. If you miss this -y, it will not install. At this stage, if you miss -y, it will not install. Or if you miss this sudo command, it will not install. Let us say even the service also running, then definitely the problem is with the security group. First thing we have to check is the security group, right? So the security group must be opened with at least 80 port, because any website will run on port number 80. And we can configure the websites to be run on 443 ports also, but that requires an SSL certificate. What is an SSL certificate? How that websites looks like if they are using SSL. So this website is using SSL. So you can see here, there is some lock symbol, right? What is the meaning of that SSL certificate? Secure. What kind of security it is? Okay, what kind of security it will provide? This is Amazon.com website, right? To configure any website using the secure socket layer, SSL, or if you would like to run any website on using HTTPS, the first thing must be, you must be the owner of that particular domain name. You must be the owner of the Amazon.com website. Then you can generate that SSL certificate. There are a lot of tools, or we can purchase from the third party also. But to provide the certificate, you must be the owner of this domain name. Then if you configure your website using this particular HTTPS, whatever the details you enter on that website will be transmitted in a secure way. So to log into this website, I entered my email address and password, right? And that email address and password will be sent to the Amazon for verification, like we call it as authentication. So while it is transmitting, if someone is able to capture the data, they can see your username and password, right? If that is sending in the plain text format. If any website is using HTTPS, whatever the data leaving your browser will be encrypted using that particular certificate. Once the data received by the Amazon, that will be decrypted and then it will be authorized, like it will be validated for the authentication. That is the advantage of the HTTPS. You can go for any website. Every website is using HTTPS nowadays. No one is running their websites on HTTP. But to run your website on HTTPS, we have to purchase the SSL certificate. And to get that certificate, you must be the owner of that particular domain name. In general, we can call that domain name as website name. So if you are unable to access any website, first check that in the security group, the 80 port is opened or not. So quickly, what I do is I will launch one EC2 instance by copying the same, what we call that the user data, whichever I shared in the Google Drive, just to check, is there something problem with the data what I shared. So quickly, I will create it. And make sure to attach the security group, which will allow 80 and 443 ports. So if I go to the security groups, I have already different security groups available. What is the first security group? Web server. The name is the web server. Which ports were opened in the web server security group? Click on the inbound rule. And here you can see 80 and 443 traffic is opened from all IP version 4 addresses and all IP version 6 addresses. That means the 80 and 443 traffic will be allowed from anywhere across the globe. So this is okay to access the website, right? But we are installing the website on Linux. So to log into the Linux machine and all these things, we must open 22 port. So I have another security group called Linux SSH. which will open only SSH protocol, and that will be from anywhere. If I use any one of these particular security groups, my requirement will not be fulfilled. If I only use Linux SSH, it will not allow website access. If I use only web server, it will not allow me to log into the Linux server. And we have an option that to a single EC2 instance, you can connect multiple security groups. That's why while creating the EC2 instance, I will attach both of these security groups. Okay. If you don't have the security groups, then you can create individually, or you can create a single security group with all the ports while you are creating the EC2 instance also. Click on the launch instance. I will say my EC2 instance. This can be any name, that doesn't matter. I will select Amazon Linux. I will go with t2.micro. Here I will select key pair. So here you can select existing security groups because already I have the security groups. Like this, you can select two security groups, Linux SSH and web server. This security group will only allow the 22 traffic, like a remote login to the Linux server. And this will allow website access from anywhere. What if you don't have the security groups already in your account? You can select create security group. And by default, it will only open SSH. But what we need to open? 80 port also, right? For that reason, here you can select HTTP. Allow this one. If you need 443 also, you can select this one. Or you can click on edit. Here you can give some meaningful name, Linux, HTTP, and HTTPS. You can use some meaningful name. That means a single security group will allow 20, 80, and 443 traffic. All the three rules I can include in the same security group. See here, security group 1, let us say by default, how you will get is this one, 22, SSH. Only the 22 port will be allowed from anywhere. Then click on add security group rule. Here, type, you can select HTTP. Automatically, the port 80 will be selected. And then you can click on again add security group rule. So here type HTTPS. This is the one. 443 will be selected. Like this, you can add as many rules in a single security group. Then just scroll down, and here in the advanced details, click on the advanced details and scroll down to the bottom. Here you have to enter the user data. And make sure that there is no additional spaces before the sudo command. Okay. And now what I do is scroll down and click on launch instance. Okay, we selected 80, but we haven't selected the source type, right? So here you have to select anywhere. Anywhere. You have to mention that from where you would like to allow the traffic. So you have to select anywhere. Then click on launch instance. And the instance will be created in just 2 minutes, but you have to wait for like a few more minutes of time because the software to be installed, the configuration to be done, right? And then the web server to be start and the web page to be created, which will take like 3 to 4 minutes of time. After that time, if you try to access, you should be able to access the website. If you are unable to access, then definitely there is a problem in the user data script or the security group roles. Just we'll wait for 2 minutes and then we can check that. So here we are not using any elastic IP, right? So you can use this particular public IP to access. If you stop and start the instance, the public IP address will be changing. So whatever the new IP available, directly you can use the new IP to access your instance or website. What about this private IP? Is it going to change if you stop and start? No, the private IP will be fixed. Just we'll wait for a few minutes of time. And then just we can check that. In the meanwhile, let me copy the IP address. you can see web page is accessible. So there is no problem with the data, user data. So definitely the problem is with the security group. If you are getting some issue, then you have to check with the security group. Let us say if everything is working fine, I mean, the security group is good, but still you are unable to access. Then what we have to do is just log into that EC2 instance. Log into the EC2 instance. How to log into the Linux EC2 instance? We have to use the putty tool. And before that, if we don't have the private key, we have to generate the private key using the puttygen. If you're already having the private key, then no need to generate separately. So then select the IP address here, and on the left side, expand the SSH, select the authentication, click on browse. This is the one. Let me increase the font size. Open. Username is EC2-user. So if still the security group is allowed from all the traffic, like, I mean, from anywhere for the 80 and 443 ports, definitely there is something problem with the, what we call that, your installation part. If you are able to see a different page like test page, then definitely there is a problem with this particular command. So if there is no index.html exist, then it will show you some default page, which you can see Apache test page. Then there is a problem with the last line. So what you have to do is, if you are getting page not found error, first you have to go to this and you have to use service HTTPD status. If it is not showing active or if it is not showing running, then there is a problem with this command. There might be a problem with this command or at this stage. So if you are saying like not running, then immediately you have to start the service like this. If it gives you something error like no such service exists, then the problem is with the installation part. This one, the selected one. You might use a wrong service name here, or you might miss -y. Definitely the problem with these two only. You have to make sure the command, and then you have to re-execute them. Okay, based on the findings like with which you are able to do that, update the user data and you can do that. But whatever the user data is available in the file, that is correct and that is working. Okay, right. And also I have seen like multiple cases, like a few people are unable to log into the Linux using the putty. Only from their machine, from a different machine, they are able to access. So if, what we call that, if you have any antivirus, that might be a reason. Or sometimes if you go to the firewall, there will be a firewall option available in the Windows. By knowing or without knowing few things, we might modify some changes on the Windows firewall. So here you can click on firewall and network security things and firewall and network protection. There might be a possibility that some rule is blocking outgoing traffic of your 22 or RDP protocol. This is only if you are unable to log in from your laptop, and from a different laptop if you are able to access. Wait a second. This is the one. If you click on the advanced, so here what you have to do is click on the outbound rules. Just try to create some new rule. Select port and just whatever the thing you are like, you can select all remote ports for now, just for verification purpose. Click on next, create. If your antivirus is not allowing you to do that, just stop the antivirus. How to stop that? You can go to the services. There also you can stop the antivirus service. There might be a possibility, because occasionally we can see such kind of issues. Or while you are learning some other things, you might configure, like you might block some ports or something without knowing the things. So there are different things we have to check. If you are unable to log in First thing, just try to turn off the Windows firewall. How to do that is type firewall, and you can see Windows firewall, check firewall status. You will get like this. If it is showing in the green color, that means your firewall is on. Just try to make it off. Click on turn Windows Defender on or off. Select turn off here. Still, if you are unable to access, then definitely the problem is with your antivirus. If you are using any antivirus, go to the settings of the antivirus, stop it temporarily, and try to log in again. Definitely it will work. Okay. Any other questions or any other issues you have faced? And any other issues you faced while you are doing the practicals? Can we create? No, you can create. Only from IP version 6 you would like to allow, right? You can, but if someone is not using the IP version 6, they cannot access, right? Okay, like let us say your requirement is like you would like to allow only from IP version 6. I mean, like whoever is using the IP version 6. Okay, you can create the security group. Here you have to add the rule. So HTTP or HTTPS, and this is all IP version 6. So this indicates all IP version 6. So majority of the people cannot access your website because only very few people are using IP version 6 as of now. Very few people, few ISPs are using the IP version 6. This is how you can restrict only from IP version 6. Let us say if I connected to internet, which is providing me with an IP version 6, then I can access your website. If I am not using IP version 6, then I cannot connect with your website because it will only allow the IP version 4. This indicates IP version 4, 0000/0. That is IP version 4. And this will be the IP version 6. IAM policy. Okay, so first, what is a policy? I mean, what is the use of a policy? What we can do with the policy? Yes, policies. We can use the policy to provide any user with a specific permission, right? So if you create any user, if you create a user, let us say the username is user 11. By default, he will not get any permission, right? So I would like to allow him to only manage EC2 service, EC2 full access I would like to provide. My requirement is that user 11 should get full access on EC2 service. So how can we provide the permissions is we have to use a concept called policy. First, we need to create a policy, EC2 full access policy. If already existing, you can use that. If you attach this policy, this user will get the permissions, whatever is mentioned in this particular policy. Policy is actually a JSON document that was written in JSON format. But by default, you will get almost every policy required for your day-to-day activities. If you don't find any policy, then you have to create the policy. If you open the EC2 full access, you can see that the command will be, in that you can see the permissions like the action will be allow, and the like this EC2 star. That means whatever the action starts with EC2, all the access types on the EC2 service will start with EC2, like EC2 colon create instance, EC2 colon create security group, like that. And then you have to select a resource. Resource is a star. What is the resource? EC2 is a service, right? In the EC2, we have a lot of resources. Let us say you have 10 EC2 instances. Each and every instance is called as one resource. Would you like to allow this user to manage all the instances on your account or a specific specific EC2 instance? If you would like to mention only a specific instance, in the resource, you have to mention the instance ID. If you would like to allow all the permissions on all resources of your EC2, just use a star. I will open and I will show you the policy, how it looks like. To see the policies, go to IAM service. We took the example of full permission on EC2 service, right? I will go to that particular policy and I will open the policy. So here on the left side, you can see the policies, which is under access management. And here I will type EC2 and press enter. So this is the EC2 full access, right? Here is the policy. So if I click on plus, you can see the command. What it is allowing? It will allow, in the EC2 service, we have a lot of features, right? It will give full permissions on every feature of the EC2. So action, EC2 colon star. That means whatever the action or whatever the, what we call that, whatever is executing by the user, EC2 instance creation, create instance, delete instance, everything will be allowed and on all EC2 instances. And then in the EC2 itself, they have a lot of options available. Everything is allowed using this particular role. Or if you go with IAM, if I check the IAM full access, this is the one, right? You can see all IAM actions will be allowed. And in addition to that, there is one concept called organizations. Even that organizations options also provided to that particular user. And you can see the resource as a star. That means whoever is having this policy, he can manage all resources in the IAM service, like 100 users, 100 groups, 100 policies. Everything will be managed by the user, whoever is having this particular policy. Policy is used to provide the permissions to users or groups also. What is that? Attaching a policy to the group. What is the meaning of that? Instead of attaching the policy to the user, so here I have a group, right? And if I attach a policy called EC2 full access, I attached this policy to the group. Now, whoever is available in this particular group, they will get this policy automatically. Total, I have 10 users. I added 1, 3, 6, 9, and 10 users into the group. Out of the group, I have a 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Out of 10 users, only these 5 users will get full permission access on EC2 service, and these people will not get the EC2 full access permissions because these are not in the group. You can apply the policy individually to the users, or you can apply the policy to a group of users using the groups concept. Is that clear, or any question on that? So have you tried to create your own policy, custom policy? Any issues you got? Okay, so to create a custom policy, even we don't need to learn the coding also. Just click on create policy. Let us say I would like to give EC2 full access. So here you can see a JSON, right? By default, there is no commands. There is no script available. But Amazon is providing you a concept called visual editor. By using this, you can select all the permissions, all the features manually. So automatically the script will be generated. Okay, so this policy I'm creating to provide the permission on EC2, right? Click on choose a service and you can select EC2. Select the EC2. It will give the permissions on EC2 only. All EC2 actions. Select all EC2 actions. It will give list, read, tag, write. Every permission will be provided. Then scroll down. So here, these are the resources. On which resource you would like to apply the permissions. Click on the anywhere on the resource. It is showing these all are the resources. Certificate, dedicated host, DHCP option, elastic IP. So let us say if you would like to allow only allow the user to manage the elastic IPs only. Instead of selecting all the resources, you can select this one only. Just you can select that one. That means whoever the user is having this policy, he can only manage the elastic IPs. He cannot create instances. He cannot delete the instances. Instead, if you select all resources here, the user can manage any EC2 resource in the EC2 service. So we selected all the options, right? If I go to the JSON, you can see a command like this policy will provide allow permission on all resources of EC2 service. If you click on create instance button, like launch instance button, in the backend, there will be action called EC2 : create instance. Whatever the action starts with EC2, that will be allowed because of this particular policy. By any chance, if you don't select any resource here, if you try to create, it will give you some errors. It will not allow you to create the policy. You must select at least one resource or all resources. Most of the time, we will skip that resource part and we might try to create the policy. I will show you that. So here I clicked on create policy, right? I will select the same EC2, select the EC2 and all actions. I might think that this is also already selected and I will try to click on next. So here the policy contains an error. You can see 43 warnings also. If I click on JSON, there is no script generated. Kind of empty policy. Because you selected all the permissions, but these permissions to be allowed on which resource, that you have to select in this part, resources part. Click on that resources and at least select a specific resource or select all resources. then only you will be able to go to the next page. If you don't select resource, means you are giving the permissions on nothing, which is like invalid policy. Is that clear about the policies, or still any question? Okay. Just try to create the policy and just try to check all the options while you are doing, so that you will get some clarity on that. Like every time you have to check why we are creating that, what is the use of that option, then you can understand better. So have you tried to download the putty software? From where we have to download the putty? What is the website? putty.org, right? So if you log into the putty.org, you can see there are a lot of options available, right? I think there are 3. Directly, we have to download the putty one. These are different things: bitwise, SH client, which will provide some kind of SFTP server kind of a thing. Just go to the download putty, just click on this. Even once you click on that also, you can see there are a lot of options here. Which one to download on these? Go to the latest one. So here you have to select based on your operating system. So what is your operating system? Is it like 32-bit or 64-bit? But by any chance, if you are using very old Windows 7, and if it is 32-bit, then you have to download this one. But I guess nowadays everyone is using 64-bit only. So you have to go with this one. Okay, this one. 64-bit x86. So this is a different processor, ARM based processor. By any chance, if you are using such processor, then you have to download that one. But I think we are using the maximum Intel processors only, right? i5, i7. These all comes into 64-bit x86 architecture. So you can download this one. If you install this, automatically the puttygen will be installed. If you download this, the selected file, and if you install it, you will get the putty and puttygen at a time. No need to install that puttygen individual. Like to download the files, they provided like this is direct download, right? If you click this, the what we call that, the software will be downloaded from the FTP server. The putty will make available the files in 2 different formats. One is like file server, and the second one is like a FTP. If you click here, it will be downloaded directly. FTP means you have to use some kind of FTP client. But that is also to download, the way of download. Any other questions? Anybody else? Okay, what about these users, policies, groups? Are they chargeable? You will not be charged for having the users. You can keep it or you can delete it also. If you don't delete also, there will be no charges. You will not be charged for having the users and groups. But for EC2 instance, there are limitations. T2.micro is free tier eligible, right? And that also you can run only 750 hours per month. And the 750 hours is not for individual EC2 instance. All instances together, you can run 750 hours. If you create 10 instances, after 75 hours, all the 10 instances will consume all 750 hours, right? So it will be like cumulative utilization, not individual server.
Hello. Yes, sir. I have launched just in EC2 instance Linux, and with user data, I am able to access with putty. but same web page is not displaying.
Okay, so you
Service
launched the
service is
EC2
running.
instance, but
Yes, sir.
still you're unable to access the website.
Yes, its service is running active.
Service is running. Then
Yes.
what is a security group?
A security group, I selected this SSH 22 and port 80, HTTP and
Okay, so I
HTTPS.
think like now you can share your screen so that I can check that. You can share your screen now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait a second.
Yes, sir. This is the putty.
Okay, so HTTP server is already running, and
Yes,
you're
sir.
saying you are unable to access the website, right?
Right, sir.
Okay, could you please open that and show me the IP address of that EC2 instance?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Go to Amazon.
This is the IP address. Now I'm
Now go to the
accessing.
EC2 instance.
Yeah, this
Instance.
one. Yes, sir.
Okay, then go to security. Show me the attached security group. Click on security. My EC2 instance, Linux web server. Where is the 80 port? It seems you opened the 443 port, right?
Yeah, I selected 80 also, HTTP, HTTPS both.
But in the same rule, if you select both, it will not work. In a single rule, you can add only one port.
Okay, two cannot.
Two rules you can create, but in a single rule, you cannot mention two individual IPs. Just what is the name of the security group? Okay, so just go to the security group, which is on the left side.
Security group.
Just scroll down to the scroll down. Yep, security groups under network and security. Okay, where is your security group? I think the first one, right? Expand the name, security group name. Yeah, click on that.
I selected this one. Inbound.
That is not the one you are using with EC2 instance.
I think.
Expand the name so that we can see the full name of the security group. Okay, and if you are, one second, and if you are clear with your questions, you can leave, no issues. If you have a questions, you can wait. Yeah. Is this the one you are using with your EC2 instance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then go to the inbound rule, because inbound rules only allow the traffic, right? Not the outbound rules. Okay, scroll down. And here you are opening only SSH and HTTPS.
Yes, sir.
But our websites are running on HTTP only now, as of now. So you can click on edit inbound rules.
Edit inbound rule.
And you can click on add rule. And here you can type 80. Yeah, here you can type 80, or you can change the type also. Yeah, 80. And source, you have to select that from where you would like to allow the 80 traffic. Already you selected the port number, right?
Yes.
Source you have to select. You are saying that 80 port to be allowed, right? From where it has to be allowed?
Anywhere.
Yes. Just scroll down and click. Already there is, right? Already 00 is there, but why again you are saying changing?
Okay.
Click on save rules.
Save rule.
Yeah. Yes. Now, if you go to that web page and if you refresh the browser, you can see that website is running.
Yeah, great.
So the problem is only with the security group roles.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay. Okay, so how to restore a snapshot? We have already EBS snapshot, right? How to restore the snapshot? So like already we are creating some EBS volume snapshots, right? From the snapshot, I would like to create a new EBS volume. That is what we call as a restoration, right? So just go to the EC2 service and go to the snapshots under Elastic Block Store. And here, select the snapshot from which you would like to restore. Click on actions, and you can click on create volume from snapshot. which will create a new EBS volume with the data, whatever is available on that particular snapshot. Okay.
Hi, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Previously, we saw AMI, Amazon Mission Image.
Okay.
It is also a backup. Then, what is the differences between AMI and a snapshot?
Snapshot is like just a kind of what we call a snapshot can be used to create the backup of any volume.
Okay.
AMI will contains the operating systems, softwares, everything. But the EBS volume snapshot contains only the data. So you are saying like the difference between the AMI and the snapshot, right? By using the snapshot,
Yes,
you
yes.
cannot create the EC2 instance, which requires
Okay. Okay.
Amazon machine image. Let us say if you would like to install some operating system on your laptop, you cannot use the backup to install the operating system, right? You
Yes,
need
yes.
the portable CD or DVD drive, which contains
Yes.
the image of the operating system. So
Yes.
operating system will be installed on the EC2 instance using only the AMIs, not from the snapshot.
Okay.
So snapshots only to restore the data of your EBS volumes. That is a difference.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else? Like if you created the EC2 instance and EBS volumes, and you configured what we call that snapshot, automated snapshot. So every day it will create a snapshot, and you have a retention period of 4 days. If you delete the EC2 instance, it will not delete your what we call that. It will not delete the snapshots automatically. The snapshots will be available, and after 4 days, the snapshots will be deleted automatically. So by using the snapshot, you can restore your EBS volume and the entire EC2 instance. But the snapshots cannot be used to create the new EC2 instance. Just to restore the same EC2 instance, we can use that. Even this was created on 24th, right? 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. On 28th, if we come back to this place, we cannot see these 3 snapshots. They will be deleted on the 5th day, because the retention period is 4 days. Okay. Right. Any other questions? Okay, so if you are clear, you guys can leave. No issues. If you have questions, just wait.
Just I want to ask one thing. For this practice EVS volume, we need to pay anything?
Yes, for
this
EBS
practice?
volumes, only the general purpose and magnetic are free, and all other are chargeable.
So how much it will charge if use?
Just avoid that, because the process of creation, right? That is same for all the instance types.
Okay.
Even you cannot observe the difference between the creation. The difference is only the performance wise, right?
Okay, right.
So I recommend to use only GP2, GP3, and magnetic for practice purpose, because
So
the snapshots will work in the same way, restorations will work in the same way. There is no difference.
yes.
Okay.
So up to 30 GB we can use
Yes, up to 30 GB altogether, not on individual instance.
Yes. So
Okay.
is there any charges for login? If I log in 4 hours, 6 hours, keep on login. So is there any
No, there
charges?
is no charge for if you log in multiple times.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, right.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have you provided your email address? What's your name? I don't remember that your email ID I added. To whom? Like to Rajesh you have given? You're offline or from online to offline you converted? Okay. So I think that's where it got messed up, because these guys will only provide me the email address of the offline students. No, not at the time of registration. Like after that they collected. Okay, I will take it. No issues. What's your full name? SRI? RAM? Okay, name. Email address. SRI RAM dot. Okay, I will add.